He is a wealthy aerospace engineer, and he just watched his wife cheat on him, but he stayed silent. In seconds, he set her 3 silent tests of honesty. Each one decided if she'd live. He walked into the pool house where the 2 lovers were splashing around. There was his first answer. She'd already failed question 1. That evening, she drove his luxury car back to his estate, waving at his gardeners like she owned the place. She had no idea her time was up. She didn't know he was home early from his trip. She'd already failed question 2, her first reaction when he surprised her. It was exactly the wrong answer he'd predicted. She forced a hug. Even now, she still had a chance to live, as long as she didn't get a perfect 0. He told her how deeply he loved her. 3 tests, all failed. The gunshot brought every gardener running. But the shot wasn't the end of his revenge. It was the start. He picked up the shell casing. When the worried gardeners came to the door, he grabbed the gun again. Here is his first baffling move. He didn't kill them to hide the crime. Instead, he fired to scare them off, then dragged his wife's body to a new spot. He carefully repositioned each shell casing and destroyed anything that could tie him to the shooting. He scrubbed the gunpowder residue off his skin, watching her body on the security feed. Then he calmly waited to be arrested. He wasn't just staging a legal murder. He was delivering a gift to someone. Within 10 minutes, police surrounded the estate. On the monitor, he spotted the man leading the officers forward, an old acquaintance. His calm stunned the detective, who had no clue who this armed man was. How could he know? He was the husband of the woman he'd been sleeping with every week. To keep their affair secret, they never learned each other's real names. They only knew each other as the Smiths, which is what he says when he finally comes clean. Robert has no clue the guy was waiting for him. He is actually relieved. Ted lowers his gun and seems easy to deal with. Then he shoots a glance in one direction. And standing there is the lover he has been obsessing over. The man who shot his wife raises the gun but doesn't shoot. He gives himself up. And shockingly, the woman shot in the head is still barely breathing. Paramedics rush her to the hospital. But now that he has caught the guy, Robert just looks lost. Ted, under arrest, stays weirdly calm, like the show is just getting started. The case moves fast through the courts and it lands on a rookie prosecutor named Willie. But he is already a local legend, a young star with a 97% conviction rate. Days from leaving the Dawes office, he only took the case because the evidence looked solid. And with a signed confession already in hand, he agrees to go through the motions. Ted's a rich guy, but he is not worried about prison at all. Out of nowhere, he waives his right to a lawyer, freezing the judge. He skips the hearing and goes straight to trial, which totally baffles Willie. But it helps the cops, so he is fine with it. After the hearing, Officer Robert suddenly corners Willie. Something feels off, and he warns Willie not to get lazy. But right as he is celebrating at his new firm's cocktail party, he gets a strange call from the police. The gun, supposedly the murder weapon, shows no sign it was ever fired, so it can't be used as evidence. He shrugs it off at first, but the next day, he tears the whole mansion apart, top to bottom, and finds no other guns. It is like that gun just vanished into thin air. But the witnesses and taped confessions still make his case airtight. Still uneasy, Willie agrees to meet the old man who seems slow. But before he can even speak, he learns the old man's private investigator already dug up everything about him. What chills Willie most is that this man isn't dumb at all. He is sharp. Court procedure, legal details. He knows as much as this hotshot lawyer does. Scariest of all, he has been in control the entire time. Either way, his other evidence still holds up. He walks into this sure-win first case, but once trial starts, no matter how damaging Willie's witnesses get, Ted just sits there totally unbothered. Until the last witness, Officer Robert, starts talking, and Ted finally reacts. That is when Officer Robert snaps and charges straight at him, and that outburst proves everything Ted just said. This sudden twist. With that bombshell dropping, Ted's comeback officially begins. He reveals his already gathered proof. His wife was cheating with Robert, and he only signed that confession because Robert beat it out of him. So to the judge, Ted flips from the attacker into the victim. If Willie can't bring new evidence in days, Ted walks free. This is Willie's biggest loss. To save his record and the firm's name, his boss tells this arrogant kid to drop the case, but he never quits. After agonizing all night, he storms into his boss's office at dawn. Now Willie has just days to find the one crack in it. First, he keeps cops hunting for the gun, then tracks down Robert, who hid information. This guy's life is completely destroyed now, a total wreck. So he wants his name cleared more than anyone. But here is what kills Willie. He doesn't even know the guy's last name or number. This lovesick fool. He can't give a single useful lead. Willie visits the hotel room where those two met. Of course, no evidence is left. He does spot Ted on the hotel's security footage. But like he saw it coming, Ted kept his face hidden the whole time. Useless. Next, Willie heads to Ted's aerospace company office, hoping to dig up any small clue. But the second he sits down, he gets a phone call. Worse, the gun the cops were supposed to find is still nowhere. He still can't figure out how Ted pulled this off. Out of options, he goes to Ted's comatose wife's bedside. Her waking up is Willie's only shot at winning this case. But the doctor says her brain is badly damaged. Even if she wakes, she may never speak again. It looked like a hopeless dead end. That desperate cop Robert throws out a ridiculous idea. Willie almost caves, but in the end he turns it down. He knows it goes against everything he stands for. But with the trial coming, the pressure is breaking him. He can't lose all he has built, and he knows for sure Ted's the killer. Looking at Ted's comatose wife, he changes his mind. Getting justice for her by any means isn't wrong. So Willie calls Robert. He greenlights the plan to plant evidence. Trial day comes and he calls his friend. He tells his female coworker to wait outside with the evidence. When he calls, she brings it in fast, and as the trial begins, Ted immediately filed for a not guilty verdict. With no new evidence, the DA had to let him walk. His whole clueless rookie act had worked perfectly. The prosecution figured their case was already airtight. Ted's careless attitude made them drop their guard, but those useless exhibits were all part of his plan. Willie, with the fake evidence ready, pulled back at the last second. Maybe Ted's total calm scared him. He couldn't risk Ted having a backup move. He didn't want to imagine the cost of using that fake, so he set the phone down. Before Ted walked out a free man, he couldn't resist mocking both of them. But once everyone had cleared out, a sharp gunshot echoed through the empty courtroom. A body was lying on the front steps. It was Robert, the man who'd counted on Willie to clear his name. Disgraced and overwhelmed, Robert took his own life on those very steps. He never realized the bullet he just fired was a gift Ted had set up the day they first met. Finally, Ted got his own unfired gun back from evidence. After the police dropped him home, he slid the gun into his drawer. Looking at his wife's portrait on the wall, he knew one step remained. Willie Beecham, still not giving up, kept sitting by Ted's wife's bedside like it was routine. But after catching a certain hint from Ted, he turned back around. Ted's last step as her legal husband, ending his wife's life support. Because even the tiniest chance his wife survived could become the flaw that finally put him away. As the machines shut off, his wife's heartbeat faded to nothing. Powerless Willie could only watch as Ted put an end to the whole circus. Ted won completely, no contest at all. Days later, forced out of the firm thanks to Ted, Willie looked different. His old undefeated swagger was long gone. This case had become his obsession. Day and night he replayed it, hunting for one tiny flaw. Then one day, an unbelievable coincidence happened. A friend grabbed his phone by mistake, identical to his own. Something clicked, and that missed call was from Ted. Ted said he was going abroad and wanted to send Willie a gift. Maybe that arrogance is what sparked Willie, and suddenly it all made sense. He arrived at the estate on time, and facing a surprised Ted laid it all out. No wonder the gun vanished. No wonder Ted was in that hotel room. Because Ted had a pistol identical to Robert's, and he swapped them in the hotel room. So the gun he first fired was actually Robert's police weapon. When Robert rushed to the wounded wife, Ted wiped and swapped it back. So, the gun that shot Mrs. Smith was carried out by a clueless Mr. Smith himself. Willie nailed it, and Ted was impressed, but he wasn't scared. Because at this point, there was no way to reopen it. A case already lost in America can't be retried. Even if his wife came back and testified, it wouldn't matter. But hearing that, Willie just smiled. Because that trial was for attempted murder. Back then, his wife was still alive. But now he has used a husband's rights to take her life completely. That is a brand new crime. Even cool, calculated Ted finally loses his composure at the end. Prosecutors bring a new murder charge based on her later death, and nobody knows who wins. But we can clearly see the panic on Ted's face, and on the pricey legal team he hired.